I'm just going to go right into it. Excited about this week. Had a great Monday practice last night and got a top 20 team in Kansas coming in here. One of our last 3 home games for the season. We got it sitting at 3-3. Got a chance to, to have a strong finish. People are going to remember this team by how we finish. And I think it's incredibly important that this week, like any other week, is virtually the same in regards to what it takes to win and be successful. We're still not where we want to be, obviously. This is a game of improvement, it's a game of development, and we obviously have a long ways to go. Right now, for whatever reason, we haven't been able to get into a good rhythm here the last several weeks as a football team, and certainly individually on each side of the ball. Kicking game has been really pretty solid. That's been the one bright spot. Maybe everybody had it right in the media that we had one preseason all Big 12 player, and it was our punter. So I say that jokingly, but the facts are, that's been the best part, the most consistent part of our team thus far. We got a terrific Kansas team that's playing with a tremendous amount of confidence. Coach Leipold has done a fabulous job at developing his team over the last couple of years. First time that Kansas has been ranked since 2009 last week. And they've won more games this season than they've won, the last 12 seasons. So, the offense has been incredibly explosive and efficient, from time of possession to rushing and throwing to converting on third downs. Top 4 in the country in a bunch of categories. They've only given up three sacks on the year. A lot of option principles, lots of movement pre-snap. They do a really good job with their presentation. Both Jalen Daniels and Jason Bean are 2 really good, experienced quarterbacks. Jason Bean has started 16 games and came in and threw for 4 touchdowns and 260 yards. Did a really nice job, probably a little faster linear speed than Jalen Daniels, both really excellent threats running the football. Running back, Devin Neal averages almost 7 yards a carry. So defensively, they've much improved unit, play with great effort, fundamentals, very tough, only allowing 120 yards rushing a game and top 20 in the country in sacks per game, just under 3 sacks a game, and they have a transfer in Miami of Ohio that ranks 5th in the country, Phelps, with 6 sacks. So a huge week for us, another 11 a.m. kickoff, and one that we're looking forward to getting in the win column, and that's our goal. So just like every week, we're going to get everything we got and we'll put it into this game and do our best on Saturday.
Brent, when we look at your personnel, what's the balance as a coach as playing experienced players who may be making some mistakes versus maybe younger players who you could weather some growing pains? Where do you find that balance of who you're going to play?
I don't think it. I think there's no the magic formula. It's just based on what you're seeing in practice. Right now what we're seeing in practice isn't necessarily translating to what we're seeing on game day. So just trying to continue to develop our young guys and. There's some guys that y'all don't know about, maybe have been banged up, that maybe haven't been able to get repetitions, or we're having to move guys at multiple positions, so that stunted their growth. But some of it's because of other injuries. So a guy like Shane Witter, who's a young guy, but he's had, having to have season-ending shoulder surgery. So, we got a bunch of really good young players. And ones that are all in that right there on the fringe if they're not in the 2 deep. And we need to play more guys. Number one reason is because it's hard to play, week after week after week, and you're taking all the reps. So we've got to be smarter that way in developing our team.
Ryan Aber? Yeah, Brent, sort of along those same lines. How do you balance the desire to sort of trust the process and trust your system and stay in that with when things are going the way they've gone the last few weeks, just trying something new to
yeah, I mean, again, I would just say this, that you use maybe 20 years of experience, and over a decade of excellence systematically. So the biggest thing is developing, the fundamentals, the understanding, the techniques, helping guys find the football, get off of blocks, take good angles, trust their eyes, trust their responsibility, and then do it over and 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 not get bored with it. So still trying to develop, some of the things that have to be second nature for you as a player so that you're not playing paralyzed, that you can play aggressively and confidently, but technically sound, and I think the fundamentals and your understanding are going to show up under pressure, and right now those things aren't showing up.
You talk about being paralyzed and things like that. Is that what you're seeing when you're talking about the difference between practice and game?
Yeah, no, I think it's a little bit of everything. It's not just, what do I do? It's do I have the discipline to do it? Right here and now, in this moment. So, but again, as I said, after the game, I know y'all have access to anytime I'm behind a mic, right? I'm asking, do y'all have access to, like last night's coaches show, for example? You watch that?
I haven't yet.
Okay. That's a good source of information, though, right? I'm guessing. So that being said, everything goes into it. It's not just any one particular thing. We're not tackling very good right now. If anybody hasn't noticed, we're not fitting very good. We're getting lost in traffic. So again, we've got to do a better job, obviously, as coaches at what we're doing. What we're seeing in the course of the week isn't translating consistently like it needs to, just to play well, not to play great, just to play well.
Come over here, Jesse.
Hey, Brent Venables was talking to us yesterday about the team really needs to kind of play loose, not so tense this weekend. What's that balance between, trying to get them to play confidently and comfortably while also having a sense of urgency and trying to turn
I think handling failure is knowing that, again, not everything is going to go well or going to go perfect, and it doesn't have to. And so just having the poise and the maturity to know in those moments, man, don't flinch, play the next play, play the next series, get the adjustments, get the corrections, and then take it to the field the next series, and, as opposed to, so much stress where, it's, catastrophic, if things don't go well. So, right now we're just not playing, with the efficiency that we need to, that goes on both sides of the ball, so that we can help and complement one another.
Yeah, Brent, Saturday you mentioned maybe the team feels tired, like physically, mentally, just like the toll of the last 10 months. And is this something as a head coach you're still sort of learning?
The last 10 months being tired, I don't know, but maybe the season's always challenging. And so mentally and physically, whether you're winning a whole bunch of games, as the season goes on, the air gets thinner. It gets harder, not easier. And no matter whether you're being successful or you're not being successful, it gets harder. You know why it gets harder? I'm asking, do you know why it gets harder?
Day-to-day grind.
Yeah, the day-to-day grind. It's hard to show up every day and do the mundane. And doing it every single day over and over and over and over. And you do it to a point where you can't get it wrong. And that's a very hard place to get to. And you would do that, you would have that same purpose and that same intent, whether you're undefeated or, again, you're not having the success that you want. That's the formula that it takes. It's as simple as hard work, commitment, consistency, handling the success, handling the failure, putting the work in every single day, one day at a time. So, you're always right. We're getting ready to have a bye week after this week. Why do you have bye weeks? Why you used to have 2 bye weeks built in. Why did we do that for so many years, forever? Because it's good on the body. It's good to, I challenge the guys to renew their mind and body and spirit every single week. You start over. It's a season of its own, This week right here is got an opportunity to be the week, a great opportunity for us to have the kind of finish that we want. It's going to take that. And so, from a leadership standpoint, that's, part of my job is to, to understand the pulse of the team and to try to help and serve them that way. And sometimes that's as simple as this time of the year, you start slowly cutting down the minutes per period. You cut down, a couple of periods. There's a lot of things that you change up inherently, not whether or not they're quote unquote tired. This is that time of the year anyway. So, but sometimes it's the smallest things like that that can be a shot in the arm and keep guys, excited and engaged and fully committed, to finishing strong. You see it all the time. Whatever the top 20 teams we're one of them preseason. There's very few standing still in that top 20. I would guess. Anybody know, how many it is? I bet it's. I don't know either. I bet close to half of them are no longer in the top 20. So what happens? A lot of things happen. There's a lot of factors that go into that. But as the season goes on, here we're halfway through it. Guys, teams, units, coaches, everybody can lose their way. Has that happened to us? I don't know. I know we're not playing fundamentally sound. We're not doing. We're not tackling well. Again, I always go back to the defense. But 2 games ago we go 10 straight series in the first half, and we get 17 points, and we don't have a drive in the first half that's over. That's close to 2 minutes long. That takes a toll too, as we've discussed in preseason and all that does. That's a very real thing. And so just being efficient, staying on the field. Last week I thought in the first half we did, although we weren't scoring points, which you don't like. You get an opportunity to get in plus side of the field, you got to score. And we were possessing the football and moving the football, and so changing field position. So that's a momentum thing too, that both sides can complement one another. Getting off the field, doing well in the kicking game, and then moving the ball and getting first downs, chewing up clock, and putting yourself in position to score. So all those things can take a toll. Are we tired? And my thing is, this is the time of year where you need that bye week. How can we help our guys moving forward, get our guys to continue to buy into the recovery resources that we have. Sleep's incredibly important. We've played 4 games, 11 a.m. Those 11 a.m. games, you're looking at everything. They're what do most college students try to do, right? They try to stay up all night, right? And they just, and so whether, and I'm not saying that our guys are, I don't know. We always encourage them to get rest, stay into a routine. You want to be able to get optimally 8 hours of sleep a night. I'm good with 6. 5.5, I'm not so good. 6, I'm good. 6:30, I'm excellent. 7, I'm feeling a little tired of too much sleep. Everybody's different, but young people are burning it at both ends, and it matters when you're a high-level performing athlete. Everything matters. So from recovery, sleeping, hydration, nutrition, there's a mental side, a spiritual side that's important, that you're staying fresh. We try to do a good job of keeping things fresh and keeping our guys engaged, and to continue to develop leadership. You have an opportunity. The greatest calling of coaching is development of people, and we got a chance to do that through our leadership councils, and certainly we're never trying to check a box, and trying to reach the heart and souls of these guys, and making sure that they understand that there's a lot of people paying attention to all of us right now and how we're going to respond moving forward, and there's many people that, and justifiably so, that is like, man, throwing in the towel. That's fine. That's part of, we have a responsibility in that. And like I said, after the game, if we don't like what they're writing, then let our play be our voice. So it's all into the criticism, and the criticism that's taken place, and is well deserved. Is how I look at it. And so it doesn't mean our guys aren't working and putting great effort into trying to be successful. I know I see that every day, and so this is that week that we start to tweak our schedule, and but maybe it's a week or so too late. I don't know. I wouldn't use as an excuse. We got destroyed 2 straight weeks. And we're missing wide open guys, and not tackling people and things of that nature. I put that more on us as coaches, and fundamentally, and trying to help them better than I do being tired. I'm the one that brought it up, I know. And so I do think that, we need to help our guys get fresh.
Back left, John Hoover.
Brent, believe it or not, that was going to be my question too. So I wanted to explore.
I don't believe it, actually.
You don't believe it?
I think you're piggybacking off of him, but
I was going to explore the Schmitty-built off-season. This is a more rigorous off-season than the guys have had before. You said several times during camp and in the first few weeks you went 24 straight days inside drill. Looking back on that, was that too much coming at these guys at once? Maybe
no,
that's
what we're used to. I've seen it, have high-level success. And we're going to continue to be and stress to be a physical football team. Obviously, during the season, you have your much smaller scale of good on good, and we'll try to be very mindful of keeping guys healthy, but getting them the work that they need, good on good, in a safe way to keep them fresh, from that standpoint. No, I don't think it has anything to do with. I'm digging my feet in here, my cleats in the ground, but I feel very confidently about that. That's not abnormal to what it might be abnormal for other guys, on staff or on the team, but it's not abnormal for me. You got to practice tough to play tough, and we're not as tough as we need to be right now, and that's that's on us as coaches, and I'm not pointing a finger at anybody. We just got to continue to develop that. And so hopefully over time we'll get there.
Right side, Gary Niemiec.
What have you got, about 1,000 ideas, suggestions since Saturday? I take it you're probably getting bombarded with.
Other than my wife, nobody else gives me suggestions. Some random person found my phone number, and he did make a suggestion, but he didn't answer back after I reached back out to him. So, yeah, interesting.
I would have been curious to see what the suggestion was. Having said that, here's mine, and you can do with it what you want.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this. You thought about having another set of eyes on practice, on film, and or for your sake, just as a head coach. And I'm thinking about Bob. Thinking about a guy that you know pretty well, who's available to you if you need him. Program guy, as he's now known, right? What about that? Just as another set of successful, established eyes on what's going on right now.
Well, I'm certainly not. You can only have so many guys, on your staff, what your budget will allow. Yeah, I mean, you're always looking for that, nonstop. So that's what the out of season's for, to address anything that you feel like needs to be addressed. But the bottom line is this: we're not right now. We're not playing good like we need to, and there's a lot of reasons for that. And I got a very clear vision for that. Some of which I've shared, some of which I won't share. And bottom line is we got to do a better job. And how we do what we do is a very proven system. In how we practice, how we train, how we meet, how we correct. All of those things. So I feel very good about that.
It wasn't meant as a replacement.
No, right, sure.
In addition to.
Absolutely.
Right.
I have a lot of wisdom, a lot of guys that have had a lot of success where they've been. I've got old guys, young guys, everything in between. I certainly would never be. I'm always, if anybody were to stand up here and be willing to be transparent and honest, they would tell you that one of my qualities is willing to listen. And certainly, you can't, you listen to everybody and then you evaluate what you want to, apply, use those suggestions and whatnot. So, I'm digging my feet in with y'all, but with my staff, again, wise men learn from others. I've always been, open to better ways and things of that nature.
Barry?
Yeah, Brent, around the league, we've had at least 4 teams that performed at a high level when they had to go to their backup quarterback. Kansas, one of them. All 4 of them were guys that had played before at that school. Is that part of your problem? Is that your quarterback room is, Brent, you got nobody that was here last year. Is that part of the problem of why you weren't able to function?
I mean, I'm not going to be the one that says that. Y'all were here, and we had, you know who those quarterbacks are. They're not here, so you got to start over. You know, one of them was here in the spring, and then Nick Evers, who's just got out of high school, was here, and he's done a nice job. Like most freshmen, they come in, and there's more bad days than there are good days for freshmen. And then you're a quarterback, and that's a whole nother, you know, that's a whole nother animal. But here, as of late, Nick's been doing well, and I use the place I use as a an evaluation time is just when he's gone against other freshmen in some of our scrimmage time that we set aside each week. You know, just 3 or 4 series, but he's done some good things there in that setting. But otherwise, you know, Davis and General both got here, you know, this summer. Of course, we can't work with them really in the summer until fall camp. So that's not ideal, you know, that's not ideal. But we got to make the best of it.
Is it going to be more with the way quarterbacks have become so transient with the transfer portal?
I don't think it has to be that way.
You mean they don't have to be transient?
Right, and I think we understand why things took place here in that regard. And you know, I'm not writing the stories, and I'm not even pointing fingers. I'm just you know, we made a move with a freshman a year ago, and the other guys decided to go elsewhere. But I don't believe that it has to be that way. You know, that other guys can't. Like, I see plenty of programs that have multiple really good quarterbacks. Kansas is one of them. So how are they doing it? You know, I don't know. You know, maybe I need to ask Coach Leipold that. You know, get a little wisdom from him. And both of those guys were not real highly recruited guys. And maybe that's something to do. I don't know. You know, they've done a good job culturally. I want our guys to be committed and loyal. And again, they want opportunities. I get that too. And quarterback's a very unique position. But, you know, I want guys to love their experience so much and feel a sense of loyalty that you know, making a decision like that is incredibly difficult. Not an easy, transient. I don't want a transactional program. And you know, losing 4 guys at once is, you know, that's pretty much unheard of, right? Who else has that happened to? I don't know. I don't know. But just paying attention to, I love college football. You don't see that much. And you see the guy like at Georgia that I think he walked on, and then he had to, and then eventually got put on. But he had all these other, and there's still a whole bunch of good quarterbacks on that roster, and yet he's the guy. And somehow he kind of stuck with it rather, and had some stick-to-itness, and he became the guy and hadn't let it go. And so that's what you want to, you know, you want to recruit to that and develop that. And you know, again, we had to figure that out in a very small, you know, amount of time. And I think, to be honest, we didn't get the kind of once we got Dylan, we didn't get the kind of you know, reception because of, you know, maybe his success where he was. And so, but I've been proud of the guys that are here that have put the work in. And you know, and you know, a week ago, Davis was put in a tough position at TCU, and I thought he handled it well. And at times he did some really good things last week, and like the rest of the team and the staff, you know, there's times that you wish you could get that play back.
Okay, let's go to James Hale.
You know, Brent, you run 2 different defenses, or at least it looks like it. Early in the year, you know, you're getting great production out of your defensive ends, defensive tackles. Lately, you haven't been. It looks like you're running a 3-man front lately. Does that have anything to do with production, with what your guys are doing, in your opinion, or is it a lot more different things than that?
What did we run the first week? You remember?
4-3?
What did we run the second week?
4-man front.
What did we run the third week?
I think a 4-man front, or a lot of it. 4-man front.
Yeah, it was all 3 there in that game. Who we played week 3? Nebraska. So we sacked them pretty good, and we stopped the run out of that. And I played well together as a team too, right? We got the ball. What did we do when we got the ball?
Move the ball.
We moved the ball. We scored. and that's complementary football. But we stopped the run out of it, and then what did we play against Kansas State?
3-9.
All four man. And any sacks that week?
No.
Yeah, not very much production that week. And so again, and we've always have our sub package. You know, we carry it in every single game I've ever coached. The 3-man, and so the 3-man actually a couple of years ago led the country in defense in the 3-man. Iowa State has been the best defense in this league the last 5 years, year in and year out over that period of time. I think Oklahoma State and Baylor were substantially better a year ago than they had been in the past. And you know, Iowa State's the one that's you know, played really consistent defense in that system. And so again, I think it's still being physical with whatever system. You know, you're going to get to 4-man principles. You know, you're still just playing one gap. You're not playing. We're not two-gapping people out of that. So you're still on edges. At times you slide guys inside, but you've got outside pressure and things of that nature. So sometimes it looks really good, and when you're losing and you're not stopping the run, don't look so good. So. But you know, we're trying to help guys. There's lots of reasons. Maybe we can talk about it in the out of season. But you're trying to, you know, like every single week, you're trying to protect weaknesses and play to your strengths, and then sometimes it's the lesser of two evils. So, but right now, you know, none of it's any good. You know what our expectations are.
Cliff Brown on the right.
So, Coach, oftentimes, you know, when a team loses a quarterback, it can still succeed offensively if the play up front is good. What are you seeing up front the last couple games? What concerns you the most about it, and are those things fixable?
You know, you're talking about on offense? Yeah, no, our guys up front, you know, I thought they played, you know, Bill will tell you, if Bill stood up here, you can imagine what Bill Biedenbo's going to say. You know, well, I can think that they can play a lot better, you know, but they actually play pretty good. You know, they've been playing pretty good. And none of it looks good when you're not, you know, throwing the ball to the perimeter and, you know, making one of those plays that should go 8 or 9 or 10 yards, and that's the run game RPO when they stack the box. You know, when you're not making, you know, the easy pitch and catches, you know, people can start pinning their ears back and making it harder for you, you know, up front. So our guys have been targeting people. They've been moving people. We need to finish better on that second and the third level. That's an area that, you know, occasionally at the point of attack, we need to be more physical when we got angles on guys and we're setting guys up. But that's been a group the last few weeks, probably 3 weeks, that our guys have done a nice job and have given us a chance. That between that and our running backs, I thought have done a nice job. Last week, again, you know, offensively, it's a different, you know, package and, you know, philosophy going into the game based on, you know, trying to play to the strengths of the team. And you know, I think that's, you know, some of that is what you saw maybe this last week. But that's been a group that I wouldn't say that they've overachieved. There's you know, there's a couple of players that maybe have, you know, on our football team that have overachieved, but I don't think that they've underachieved either. You know, Bill will tell you that was his Sunday comments. Some of his comments to me was, you know, I think they can be great, and they're good right now. And to me, they've been good enough. You know, we got to get everybody around them, you know, to play good. And again, sometimes, that's the defense doing their part too. And instead of putting pressure, you know, constantly on the offense, or again, vice versa. You know, it goes, you know, both ways.
Sam Mays.
You kind of asked my question already, but I have evaluated the offensive line as they're getting better each and every week, and I'm kind of curious. What was installation like for your Wildcat package? Because you have to have some dudes up front that are winning at the point of attack, on the line of scrimmage. To be able to do that in such a short amount of time with as many players as you did it with was pretty impressive.
No, I agree with you, Sam. I thought our guys, players, the coaches, whatever they did to teach them their systematically how they taught it, and to get the understanding, the aggressiveness, the physicality that comes with that, the precision that you got to have. There's a lot of timing factors as well. I thought they did a great job. And but again, I think it comes from a group of guys that trust and believe, and then they put the work in. And again, the coaches that put the scheme in there together to make it all work. But ultimately, the players, their physicality, their precision, their fundamentals are the things that matter. And Texas has got a big, long, athletic front, and they did a great job. And if we can, and we didn't, but you're always evaluating all of it. So this is part of it. Like, you really feel strong that that game at the worst case could be 21-10, 21-14. You convert your 4th and 1, you punch it in there, you continue to move the ball methodically right down the field and not turn the ball over, and maybe be a little more patient there. You never know how that's going to work, but worst case, Zach Schmidt's been smashing the ball and kicks a field goal, and it's more 21-10, 14-10, and then you got a real fighting chance going into to halftime. And we just we have not been able to play with any kind of rhythm the last several weeks, and that's been the frustrating part. Again, you see very small flashes, and when you're sitting in this position right now, you're looking for all the good, certainly addressing the bad, but you're looking for all the good, and that's what you're trying to continue to put in front of your players too. We got a 120 play cut up just on the defensive side of the ball of all the same plays that we saw this last week, and how we've defended them well, in different games, different times during the season. And just to because I think a picture's worth 1,000 words. And when you're not having success, sometimes those seeds of doubt can, I'm not going to act like that's not happening. Again, most of us have children. We know how immaturity can affect how they're thinking and what they're exposing themselves to. So part of our job is to continue to create confidence and buy-in, and that's not an easy thing to do through failure, but that's when you got to be at your best.
Time for a few more. Mason Young, second row.
Yeah, Brent, you guys had Woody Washington playing that deep safety spot for you guys on Saturday. Could you just kind of talk about his adjustment to that, and do you plan to keep using him in that spot moving forward?
Yeah, Woody's one of our best football players. Woody, whatever Woody does, he plays well. The game's easy for him. He's got great instincts. Instincts are a gift. Patience, and we had a chance to pick him off. I think it was the second drive of the game, and which again hey Woody, great job getting there. That's the first part of the hard battle. We got to make those plays. You get two hands on it. We got to make those plays, and that's what good players do, good teams do. And Woody's a really good player, and so we're trying to find ways to take advantage, put guys in playmaking position, in positions that are systematically that require guys to make plays. So we'll continue to evaluate all of our personnel, him included, to try to help them be successful.
He came off the field a couple times looking like maybe he's a little bit banged up. What's he kind of working through there?
I don't know. You have to ask him.
Let's go up front, Eli.
I don't think Theo Weiss got off the sideline last week. Was that injury? Was it personnel?
Just decision by the coaches based on how the week went.
And on the other side of the football, Justin Broyles is a guy who's been here for a lot of years. He also happens to be the lightning rod for this fan base. I don't know if you're aware of this, but things aren't going well. I'm curious if you can tell me about the guy you see on the field and inside these walls.
You talking about Justin?
Justin Broyles.
Yeah, what he's like?
What do you see in Justin Broyles, both on the field?
I'm not sure why he's a lightning rod, why anybody would spend 1 ounce of energy being emotional or mad about a player that loves this university and is committed every ounce of who he is, every fiber in his body to helping this place be great. I don't know. I don't know what's behind that. That's kind of disturbing, but it is what it is. Justin's terrific. He loves his team. He loves his teammates, loves his coaches. He values his opportunity. He's got a thankful spirit every day. He comes, with a workmanlike attitude, a blue-collar work ethic. He takes every moment of, where something isn't going right, he takes it on his own shoulders. He bears that burden, even when it's not his fault. And he just cares. He cares as much as any player I've been around. So I don't know when you said lightning rod, and so I don't. I think I know what that means, but that's weird.
Back row, Kerry Murdoch.
Especially when you talk about a kid that could have gone anywhere in the country and chose to come here and chase his dreams and make a lot of sacrifice and put his body in harm's way. And you can say, well, that's what he signs up for. And I know sometimes I say things like that, but I don't want anybody perpetuating it either. So.
Brent, Dylan told us last night he's still under concussion protocol. Does that hinder his preparation at all? And will he be back this week? Do you know that yet?
I mean, I don't know if it hinders his preparation. I don't know what the concussion protocol. I think they continue to evaluate him every day. I don't get into the deep weeds. I'm just I want to major in the minors. So they'll tell me what he can do, what he can't do. He's full go at practice. I think they're just continuing to, whatever all those tests are, they do those to make sure that they're on the right side of it. And, if he continues to stay out of harm's way in regards to that protocol, I would expect him to play.
Do you have a day of the week that you're expected to get a clearance on that?
Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
Okay, last two, we'll go to Lee Benson and then John Shin. Lee.
Coach, how do you address the three-man front, four-man front thing? And also, it sounded like you cut up of plays that you all have done well in the past. Earlier in the season to show guys when they've done things correctly, they've played more assignment-style football. I was going to ask you about that. I mean, when things have gone on defense have gone the way they've gone the past 3 games, do you go back and say, hey, guys, against Kent State, we did this, against UTEP, against Nebraska, let's watch it to see what it looks like to hopefully gain that confidence moving forward?
Yeah, that's exactly, what we've done. Everybody does what they're supposed to do. Stance, alignment, assignment, key, good force angles, inside the block, outside leverage, inside leverage, good eyes. Here's the result. So when we don't do some of those things, here's also the result. So just helping our guys just learn and grow, mature within, our systems.
Back row, John.
Brent, you mentioned not getting first downs and kind of being an overall issue. One thing it kind of seemed like on Saturday and off season, when you're going up tempo and you're not getting first downs, that can really be a problem. Has there been any thoughts of kind of maybe coming up with different speeds for that offense throughout this year?
They do have different speeds, and what we need to, the focus though is to get first downs, and I say that that's Captain Obvious here, but it can be a burden. So at what point do you play slow down, right? And again, I'm playing the devil's advocate, and I know Jeff doesn't really care about what everybody else thinks, quote unquote. But then all of a sudden you slow it down. No, we're not. Oh, we don't want to win. I know we're going too slow, right? So anyway, but we do have different tempos, and we got to focus on being more efficient within, our play, catalog and our fundamentals that go along with it, and getting everybody to play together. I think would be a big help to getting those first downs and, staying on the field. Moving the ball, creating field position, create momentum, letting guys get rested and make adjustments, things of that nature, how we're working and help each other.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Y'all have a great day.